Hi, I'm Bonnie Lynn Linke, and welcome to my studio, Stamping with Bonnie Lynn. Today I'm going to bring you a card with the Regal Reindeer bundle, and this is in the July to December mini catalog. And it's a wonderful catalog. I love everything about it. So you can't go wrong with this one. And if you don't have one and need one, please feel free to contact me at bonnie@stampingwithbonnielynn.com. Okay, so this is the stamp set, and it is a cling stamp set. And I have my labels all on it, and I have my magnets right here. Not my magnets, I'm sorry, my framelits right here on my magnetic board. And as I've said before, these are Stampin' storage, and they are wonderful. If you ever get the opportunity to use them, I just love their products. And this is the card we're going to do. And this is an easel fold card, so it is a fun fold. And when it stands up, you can see it from up on top there, it stands like so. And it opens up, and there's the inside. And the colors I'm using are Evening Evergreen and Pear Pizzazz. All the measurements will be on my website, stampingwithbonnielynn.com. So, okay, and I am going to show you, because I used the Snowfall Accents puff paint on this one, so I'm going to show you how I did that. And I'm going to show you what I did on my embossing, because I actually... Whoops, sorry about that. That's my notes for, I'll show it to you. This is my notes for when I make a card. I write down the card name, the stamp sets I use, the framelits, the ink pads, Copics. It says see back. I write the Copics down. I use both stamping blends and Copics because I own the full set of Copics, and I had them before the stamping blends came out. So I do own some of the stamping blends, but I can't really see buying both sets of everything. But the most popular sets that I use the most, I do buy them so I can show you what it looks like. And this is sizes of paper. And I also write it under here, under paper. I write the color name and the sizes. This was more when I was doing my cutting. And you can see where I was doing coloring to see what color I wanted. And also what embellishments I use. So it's my notes on everything so that I can go ahead then and type up the directions for making the cards and have it all there and ready. All right. Okay, so to start with, I've already cut all my paper, and I've already colored my reindeer and my trees. I don't want you to have to be here for hours on end. Why, the slowpoke I am, I do things. Now, go ahead and burnish this fold. It is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2. And then we're going to take this piece of Pear Pizzazz, and because I used tear and tape, I already went ahead and put it on. So this fold this is going to tape to this back. So this goes up this way. And then this one goes down right here. And this is 4 inches by 10 1/4, scored at 5 inches. No, take that back. Scored at 2 1/2 inches and then 5 inches. And we'll go ahead and just center this on here. You might take your pick tool. I love this because I can just easily get my tear and tape, the backing off of it, and pull it off. And I hold my card in place while I do it, but once I get a piece done, it's going to stay pretty much in place. All right. There we go. We don't need the bone folder anymore. And this is our first piece of designer series paper, and this one is from the Paint at Christmas, which is a holdover from last year. There really is no direction to this because you will see the berries go both ways, but I look at which way seems like the top to me, and this one looked much more like the top to me. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna add it right here. This is a pretty paper. Okay, and I kind of fudged that, but it looks like it's still in place. Good. Sometimes when I design my cards, I'll take things out to my husband, Terry, and let him look at it and get his opinion on what he likes. Being the cards, Christmas cards I make, we send them out to most families. That's where I kind of moved it a little bit, but that's okay. And so when it came time to do the Merry Christmas up here, I gave him different options because I couldn't decide. So I had to go with the one he said, and he went with the Merry Christmas. And you'll see what I mean in a few minutes when I show you some different options that I came up with. Sometimes I have more trouble picking out how I'm going to do a greeting on a card than anything. Okay, and now I'm putting the designer series paper on the outer bend. So when I start, I go ahead and I cut all my paper, I do all my stamping, and then I do any coloring or whatever has to be done. So there we go. And I already did the card inside. And this is the saying out of the Regal Reindeers. It says, wishing you a wonderful season filled with all the good things that warm your heart and lift your spirit. And then I took one of the reindeer stamps. I took this one right here, and I went ahead and stamped it in a soft suede, only the front half. I did put the whole thing on it, or about 2/3 of it on it, but I did not like that look, so I scaled it back to just about half of it. And when I was stamping to see how much of it to do, it was on, I take copy paper and cut it to the size of the inside, and I'll use that first if I'm not sure how I want to decorate my inside. Now I could have done this because this is in the Stampin' pads, and I did it in the soft suede, but I could have stamped it in a memento ink, memento black, or I do own some other memento colors such as gray and blues, and so I could have done it in a different color memento. Also, I own some brown ones, because you don't want to use stamping blends or Copics unless it's memento ink. And I decided it really didn't need to be colored, so that's why I didn't. I just left it simple like this. Okay. Next, these are the trees out of the stamp set, and I colored them with Granny Apple Green, and I also brought in, I used the light and dark Granny Apple Green, and I also brought in a little bit darker, one of my Copics, a YG67, because I wanted it more darker than that. And I was trying to figure out, by looking at the stamp pad colors, what color would match it in the Stampin' blends. And Stampin' Up does not have garden green, because that would have been perfect, because it needed to be more green. You do have Old Olive and Mossy Meadow. They have a little bit more brown in them, But if I was to go with one of them, I would try the Mossy Meadow, and I would start with the light one first. And if you don't like that, try with the dark one to go with your Granny Apple Greens. And then for the background, I used one of my Copic markers, BG04. Oh, wait, take that back. BG with 4 zeros after it. And I just made a little bit of a well right here so you could see that it is a tree and that maybe the snow is sinking in. And I also took my BOOO and lightly did a little bit of blue for the sky. Okay, and now we want to do the puff paint. You want to put your picture on your underneath layer, the Evening Evergreen, before doing your puff paint. That way you're not squishing your puff paint when you go to add it to the card. And I also want to put some tape down here so that when I tape it on, I'm not squishing my puff paint either. So let me see. And this is only going to tape part way on. So I only want to put my tape up about an inch or so. There we go. Now you shake your puff paint up good. And I know you can't really see it once the reindeer is there, but I did go ahead and I put quite a bit at the bottom. And you just want to do it in thin lines. And then you want to add some to the tree branches. And if you get too much of a puddle, just take it. And if you're having trouble doing it that way, take your pick tool and use it. There is no right or wrong way to do this. And as we know, trees can hold snow in some spots, but not others, because the wind blows it off, and it normally blows it off at the top of the tree first. So I don't put that much up at the top. So you just decide what look you want. You can do a lot of it or just a little bit. And I tend to put it more along the branches, the ends. Okay. Then you're going to take your heat tool. You're going to let it warm up. Hold it a couple inches above your work. And you can start to see it turning right in there. Clothespins are great for holding this. Okay. There we go. Isn't that so cool, the way it does that? Now, I should have probably put some more up there, but I didn't. And, you know, if you can go back and do that if you want to. So then you're going to take the tape off, the backing off the tape. And then, being I've already made this, I knew about how much tape to put on, where to put it at. And I could have probably gone a tad bit higher. But just place it where you want to. Some people like to place it down low. But my reindeer would have covered too much of it because I'm going to put the reindeer on the front, so I didn't want it down that low. Now, if I wasn't going to put anything in front of it, I probably would have put it down lower. Okay. Now, and here's my reindeer. I used soft suede stamping blends. I didn't have any crumb cake, so I added one of my lighter Copics in with it. Now, on this one, I used Sweet Sorbet for the red. And red has the tendency to really spread. And if you make a mistake, you cannot use the color lifter to bring red up. And I just didn't like the way that was spreading. So on this one, I used my color pencil, a red color pencil, to do all my red trim. And then I used, you can use your Daffodil Delight, the dark one. I used a Copic YG17 because I just like that gold color. And I did the same for this. For the antlers, I used my Copics. And I took some C1, which is a light gray, and I put it down first, down near the bottom. And then I came in with my E42 and 43 to do the antlers. Now for you guys, I would suggest using the light crumb cake. And if you want to take like the smoky slate and put a little bit of that down first, I think that would really look good. Or even the gray granite, because I don't have those stamping blends to give you an idea, but I think the gray granite has enough brown in it that you just may be able to use the light one of that to do your antlers. And then the blanket was the Granny Apple Green. All right. Oh, and then I used a darker color. You would use your light black to do your, early espresso would work too, to do your hooves, like the toenails. Okay, now we will put some dimensionals on our cute little reindeer. I got both sizes here, only because I didn't feel like cutting the big ones down, so I grabbed my minis. I'm going to put an extra one there. Okay, now I need something for the legs, and what I do is I just take a pair of scissors, and on the sides I just cut a couple skinny pieces there, because a mini is too big to fit in there. So I just cut something down to fit. There we go. And I'll overdo it one more right there. All right. Move those out of the way. Bring in my trash receptacle. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf and be neater when I'm making cards. I'm not sure it's working though. Okay, there we go. Now you can put the reindeer wherever you want to. On this one, I had a black mark, so I wanted him to cover that black mark. And the reason why I ended up with these snowflakes from last year on here, they're retired now, it's because I also had a black mark up there. So that's how you cover your black marks that you unintentionally get. There you go. You just want his head and antlers on this so that they have the paper to stick to. All right, and then I took three of the festive pearls. I took the gold ones, and I put them on the harness where there's three little balls. Like they're supposed to be jingle bells, I think, because normally Santa's reindeers jingle when they're moving around. So we'll pretend that these little pearls are jingle bells. They look like it. There we go. All right, so we got those on. Now we need to do the greeting. And I forgot to grab a piece of white paper. Hold on. Okay, this one's handy. It was one that I had cut out for a notebook page, but that's fine. Okay, what I am going to do, I need my Stamparatus. See how artistic looking my Stamparatus pad is? That's the back of the reindeer. Okay, and I'm going to put it, in case it should move, I want to know where it was. So I'm going to put it right in those lines right there. And, oh, it's right here. We are going to do Merry Christmas. Okay, now I could just stamp this in the Evening Evergreen ink and it would look pretty. But I want something that's a little bit shinier than that. So we're going to do some embossing. First, I am going to stamp it in my Evening Evergreen ink. Now you can do this in either order, but I feel that if you do the color ink first, you don't have to move quite as quickly if you did the Versamark first. So go ahead and stamp this. And I want to do it a little bit darker. Now you don't want to press down too hard because you don't want to get an edge around it. There we go. Oh, you know what? I don't like that at all. So we're going to turn this over and redo that. I think my paper had moved and I didn't notice it. I like to use the corners, but with these small stamps, I just feel better about doing it out here. So, okay, we'll let it go at that. And we'll hope that the paper didn't move. It shouldn't. I only have one magnet on it though. And that's my fault. I should have had a second magnet on it. I'm going to clean my stamp off real quick. This is my chamois. And the reason why I'm cleaning it is because I didn't want to get green ink on my Versamark pad. Okay, and now we'll go ahead. Okay. I'll move this out of the way. Now, Stampin' Up! Has in their mini catalog an embossing set. I have not gotten it. It has a tray, tweezers, I believe a brush, and it also has a embossing and buddy. And that's what I used to wipe on my paper before we did this. But as you can see, I put all my clear embossing powder in one of these Rubbermaid containers. And then I just had to slip it in like so to get it on. And then I take my brush and I get off the excess. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna put it in a paper clip so that I don't burn my fingers this time. And see, I have it labeled clear. I also have my white and my gold and silver in these because I use those colors a lot. But the tray has a funnel on it and it looks really nice. Here we go. Isn't that pretty? See how shiny it is? I like that so much. Okay. I like that look just better than stamping it. So I really like that. And then I'm going to use my stylish frames to cut it out. Now this is a tight fit with this frame. So you want to go like so. If I wanted to use the Merry Christmas from here to show you that it had all the stamps that you need to make this card. But I do have other Merry Christmases that I could have used that would have fit in here without being close. But as you can see, it does fit. And then I used the larger stylish frame to cut out this piece right here. And I have already done a Merry Christmas and cut it out. It's right here. I put a piece of tape on the back. And now we're just going to line it up. And maybe send it down that way a little bit. Okay, that looks good. Oh, good enough. Okay, and then I'm going to use 3 dimensionals on this. Well, actually, I used 5. So I'll do that again. Okay. I don't want anything to get smashed. I know I should have probably used 6 and another one in the middle there, but I didn't. Take off the backings. Okay, and then we're just going to take this, and I already know I want it up at the top of the card. And try to center it. There we go. And I just noticed that I had taped it to the wrong side of the evening evergreen, but nobody will ever notice that, especially me. All right, so there we go. Now let me show you the other sayings I had made. I did this one right here, Peace on Earth. And for that one, I used this frame over here with this one to cut them out. And I like that look also. And then if you you can do it this way. You can just emboss white embossing powder on the green. And I like that too. And actually, it would have looked good cut out with this longer, stylish style frame. But my paper wasn't long enough to use that one because I wasn't thinking ahead. And there was one other too. This is, I had heat embossed on a piece of white, and then I fussy cut the Merry Christmas out thinking I would put it right here. But then I decided I didn't like that look. So that's why you got what you did. Okay, and let me add some of the retired adhesive back snowflakes from last year. You may already have these in your stash. Let me find where you open them. And I thank you for coming and watching this video. I appreciate it. If you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm also on Pinterest, Stamping with Bonnie Lynn. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. And I would love to see you subscribe to all my different media. And if you visit my webpage, stampingwithbonnielynn.com, you can subscribe to my emails. I send out a couple a week. Sometimes I send out 3. When the new paper pumpkin is announced, I always send one out for that. And I always include card directions and any specials or anything that you may want to know about. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed this card, and I hope that you like to color with your stamping blends / Copics or whatever alcohol marker you use, or color pencils, as much as I do. Have a great day. Bye.